Okay, I want you to picture this scene.
Right.
It's coming up, the Winter Olympics in Italy. You are sitting on your couch. You've got your snacks.
Hot cocoa, probably.
Maybe a hot cocoa if you're feeling festive, or, a cold drink if your heater is working overtime. And you tune in to what is, you could argue it's the absolute crown jewel of the Winter Games.
Figure skating, it's always the marquee event, gets the highest ratings, the biggest crowds, and usually the most drama.
Oh, absolutely. The drama is half the appeal. And on the surface, we all think we know what we're watching, right? We see the sparkles, the costumes that cost more than my car. We see these spins that make you dizzy just looking at them.
Right.
We hold our breath when they jump, and we wince. Physically wince when they fall. It's beautiful.
Right.
I was reading through the stack of research you sent for this deep dive, and I realized something kind of embarrassing.
What's that?
I realized that unless you have actually laced up skates and, tried not to break your tailbone on a sheet of ice, you're basically watching a foreign movie without subtitles.
That is actually a perfect analogy. It's a visual language, but the grammar, the syntax, it's invisible to the casual viewer.
Exactly. The commentators are speaking a secret code. You hear things like, oh, that was a nasty flutz, or he really Zayek that ending, or the judges are definitely giving that a carrot. And I'm sitting there thinking, are we making a salad? Is this a grocery list?
It feels like code, but it's actually just precision. Figure skating is a sport where the difference between a gold medal and fourth place is often completely invisible to the naked eye. It's all hidden in that vocabulary.
So that is our mission for this deep dive. We've got a stack of notes, rule books, some surprisingly deep history here. We're going to crack the code. By the end of this conversation, I want to be that person at the watch party who says, actually, that wasn't a triple, that was a downgraded double carrot, and have everyone just stare at me in awe.
Or annoyance. You might just be the annoying friend.
I am willing to take that risk for the sake of knowledge. But before we get to the vegetables, you dug up a piece of history in the research that, honestly, it just stopped me in my tracks. Because when I think Olympics, I think snow, ice, winter. But you're telling me figure skating isn't originally a Winter Olympic sport.
It is not. It's actually an OG Olympian, but it made its debut at the Summer Games.
The Summer Games. I'm sorry, I'm trying to visualize this. London, 1908. July. How on earth were they skating?
It sounds wild, doesn't it? But yes, London, 1908. The technology for indoor artificial ice actually existed back then. They held it at the Prince's Skating Club in Knightsbridge, but technically it was part of the Summer Olympiad.
So while other people were running marathons in the heat, these guys were in a freezer in Knightsbridge.
Precisely. It didn't move to the Winter Games until the very first one in Chamonix, France in 1924. So skating is actually older than the Winter Olympics themselves. It's the elder statesman of the ice.
Yeah, that sets the stage perfectly. It's a sport with deep roots and, as we're about to find out, a very, very complicated vocabulary. So let's dive into the jargon. I want to start with the term that confused me the most. We need to talk about the carrot.
Ah, yes. The dreaded carrot.
When I saw this in the notes, I assumed it was a shape. You know, like how a spread eagle describes a shape. I thought maybe you stand like a carrot. Or maybe it's about an orange costume.
No, nothing to do with costumes. The carrot is all about the geometry of failure.
The geometry of failure. That sounds incredibly ominous for a vegetable.
To understand the carrot, you have to visualize the judge's scorecard. In modern skating, the International Judging System, or IJS, quantifies everything. When a skater attempts a jump, say a triple axel, they're required to rotate 3.5 times in the air.
Right, 3.5.
If they land perfectly backward, clean on the blade, they get full credit. But while physics is hard, gravity is mean, sometimes they don't quite make it all the way around before their blade hits the ice.
So they land a little bit early, like the rotation isn't finished.
Exactly. They hit the ice while they're still facing slightly forward or to the side. Now, the judges have to decide, how bad was it? If the skater is more than a quarter turn short, but less than a half turn short, that is technically an under-rotation.
Okay, so you're almost there, but you cheated the landing just a tiny bit.
Right. And on the technical sheet that the judges and the technical specialists see, the symbol for under-rotated is a less than sign, an angle bracket pointing left.
Which looks like a carrot.
Or a chevron, but yeah. The skating community, the fans, they all call it a carrot. So when a commentator says, ooh, he's going to get a carrot on that, they mean the technical panel is going to flag that jump as incomplete.
And this isn't just a slap on the wrist, right? This tanks the score.
Hugely. It lowers the base value of the jump.
Yeah.
You effectively get paid fewer points for the attempt because you didn't finish the job. It's like turning in a 10-page essay, but the last 2 pages are blank. You don't get an A.
But reading through the source material, it gets worse. Because apparently you can get 2 carrots.
The double carrot. This is the nightmare scenario.
This sounds like a terrible salad order. I'll take the double carrot.
It's a catastrophe for the score. A single carrot is bad. You are a quarter turn short. A double carrot, marked with 2 angle brackets, like a rewind symbol, means the jump is downgraded.
Downgraded? That sounds so bureaucratic.
It means you are half a turn or more short of the rotation.
Half a turn. That seems like a lot. That means you're practically facing the wrong way when you land.
You are. And the penalty is brutal. If you try a quadruple jump, which is huge points, the hardest thing you can do, but you get a double carrot, the judges don't just deduct points. They treat the jump as if it was a triple.
Oh, wow. So you take the physical risk of the quad, you fail, and you get the points of the easier jump.
Plus, usually a massive penalty for poor execution because the landing looked ugly. So you essentially destroyed your score by trying something you couldn't finish. It's a total double whammy.
It's fascinating because as a viewer, I see them land on one foot and glide away, and I think, nailed it. But the judges are looking at the blade angle down to the degree.
It's why you'll see a skater smile in the kiss and cry area, where they wait for scores, and then their face just drops when the numbers come up. They might not have even realized they got carroted.
Got carroted. I love that. Okay, so the carrot is about messing up the landing. But you can also mess up the takeoff. And this brings us to a category of words that I honestly think are the funniest in sports. The portmanteaus.
These are great words for some truly terrible techniques.
The first one sounds like a Dr. Seuss character, the flutz.
It's the flutz. It's legendary.
It sounds like klutz. Like, oh, don't be such a flutz.
It's actually pretty close to that meaning. To understand a flutz, we have to get a little technical about blades, and this is where most casual viewers get lost, so let's break it down.
Okay, walk me through the blade physics.
So figure skating blades aren't flat like a kitchen knife. They have a groove down the middle like a hollow. This creates 2 distinct edges, an inside edge and an outside edge.
Okay, so if I'm standing on my right foot,
the inside edge is on the big toe side, the outside edge is on the pinky toe side.
Big toe inside, pinky toe outside. Got it.
Every single jump in skating requires a specific edge for takeoff. It's strict. The Lutz, jump named after Alois Lutz, who invented it way back in 1913, is famous for being difficult precisely because of the edge. To do a true Lutz, you have to launch from the back outside edge.
So you're skating backward and you're leaning on your pinky toe.
Yes. You're on a deep curve on that outside edge. Now here is why it is so hard.
Yeah.
You are curving one way, but you have to jump and rotate the opposite way. You are fighting the momentum of the curve. It feels completely counterintuitive to the body.
It sounds physically awkward, like your body wants to roll the foot in to get more power.
Precisely. Your body naturally wants to roll to the big toe, the inside edge, because it feels safer and you can generate more snap.
And if you roll to the inside edge,
yeah,
that's a different jump, isn't it?
That's a flip. A flip takes off from the inside edge. It's mechanically easier for most people.
I see where this is going.
So, if a skater sets up for a Lutz, they signal to the judges, I am doing a Lutz. But at the very last second, their angle collapses inward and they launch off the inside edge like a flip. They have just done a flutz.
A flip Lutz.
A flutz. It's technically an error. They intended a Lutz, but they did a cheated version that's just mechanically easier.
Do the judges really catch that? I mean, it happens in a split second.
They watch it like hawks. They have instant replay. If you hear a commentator say he had an unclear edge there or the edge looked flat, that's just polite code for he flutzed it.
I love the specificity. It's not just he jumped wrong. It's he collapsed his ankle mechanics on the takeoff. And there's a cousin to the flex, right? The waxel.
The waxel. This one rhymes with axle.
Which is the one jump everyone knows. Even if you don't watch skating, you've definitely heard of the triple axel.
Named after Axel Paulsen, a Norwegian inventor from the 19th century, the axel is the king of jumps. It's unique because it is the only jump where the skater takes off facing forward.
Facing forward. That sounds terrifying. You're launching yourself into the air face first.
It is terrifying. Every other jump, you are skating backwards so you can use the toe pick or the edge to vault up. With the axle, you step forward onto the outside edge and vault into the air like you're jumping off a moving bus.
And because you're facing forward, the rotation is harder.
Yes, because you have to do an extra half rotation to land backward. A triple axel is actually 3.5 revolutions. But because you're stepping forward into a spin, the timing has to be perfect. If you slip,
Oh no.
if your foot slips, or you wobble, or you just don't get the lift, you end up doing this wobbly, messy non-jump. You kind of look like you're slipping on a banana peel.
A wobbly axle.
A waxel.
A waxel. It's usually pretty ugly. Sometimes they just pop into the air and come right down, or they flail a bit.
Yeah.
It's the visual opposite of the grace the sport is known for.
Flutz and waxel.
Yeah.
They sound like a comedy duo or maybe bad cartoon villains, but
Yeah.
for a skater, they are just absolute tragedy.
They are career killers if you do them too often. So we've covered the geometry of failure, the carrots, the flutzes. Let's pivot, pun intended to, the stuff that actually looks good. Because when you aren't falling or flutzing, the sport is incredibly dramatic, and nothing sounds more dramatic than the death spiral.
The death spiral. Heavy metal name, balletic move.
It sounds like a finishing move in a fighting video game.
But this is a staple in pair skating, right?
It is required in pairs. You will see this at every single Olympics. It is one of the most iconic silhouettes in the sport.
Describe it for us, because the name implies someone is about to die.
It implies the danger involved. So in a death spiral, the male partner anchors himself in one spot. He digs his toe pick into the ice and pivots in a tight circle. He's basically a human pole.
Okay.
He's holding the female partner's hand.
Then she's skating around him.
She is circling him, but she's not standing up. She is arched backward. Her body is almost horizontal to the ice. We are talking about her head being inches from the surface.
Yeah. Truly. There are photos where the female skater's hair is actually brushing the ice as she spins. She's facing the ceiling, trusting her partner completely.
Wow. So if he lets go.
If he lets go, or even if his pivot foot just slips a little bit, the centrifugal force sends her flying head first across the rink.
Hence the death spiral.
Hence the name. It requires incredible trust. She is completely reliant on his grip, his stability, to keep her from smashing her head. But when it's done right, it looks effortless. It looks like she's floating.
It's one of those moves where knowing the physics makes it so much scarier to watch. And speaking of getting low to the ice, there's another term here that I've seen the visual of, but I never knew the name. Hydroblading.
Hydroblading. This is a very cool, very modern visual.
It sounds like a superhero power. I am hydroblade.
It really does. Hydroblading is all about edge control. The skater glides on a deep edge, usually traveling backward or in a circle, and they get their body as low to the ice as physically possible without actually lying down.
How low are we talking here?
We're talking chest to knee. Sometimes their face is right down by the boot. They extend one leg out and just carve a deep curve across the ice.
And the hydro part.
It implies fluidity. The idea is that they look like they are skimming the surface of water. You'll often see skaters dip one hand or even both hands onto the ice to balance, or just for artistic effect, trailing their fingers on the ice.
It looks physically impossible. You're balancing on a tiny metal blade, leaning over at a 45-degree angle or more. Why don't they fall over?
Friction and momentum. It demonstrates absolute mastery. You can't hydroblade if you're shaky. You have to be locked into that edge. If you wobble, you hit the deck. It's a huge crowd pleaser because it looks like they are defying gravity.
Okay, let's talk about what happens between the jumps, the footwork. To the untrained eye, this just looks like skating around to the music. But there are specific moves here with names and histories. We have the Ina Bauer, the spread eagle, and the twizzle.
The holy trinity of footwork.
Let's start with the Ina Bauer, because I hear commentators say this name with such reverence. Oh, a beautiful Ina Bauer. Who was she?
Ina Bauer was a German skating star in the 1950s and 60s. The move she invented is stunning. Think of ballet for a second.
Okay, picturing ballet.
In ballet, you have the fourth position. The feet are parallel, but one is in front of the other.
Got it.
And Ina Bauer is that position, but gliding on ice. The toes are pointing in opposite directions, but the blades are tracking parallel on different curves.
Wait, toes opposite, but blades parallel. That hurts my hips just thinking about it.
It requires great flexibility. The front knee is bent, the back leg is straight and trailing behind, and usually the skater arches their back really deep. It's very graceful. It's often used as a moment of breath in the program.
Now, how is that different from a spread eagle? Because that also involves turning your feet out.
The spread eagle is even more demanding on the hips. In a spread eagle, the heels are facing each other. The toes are turned out a full 180 degrees.
180 degrees, so your feet are making a straight line.
Exactly. Heel to heel. And the legs are spread wide apart. You glide on the edges in that open stance. If you don't have the hip mobility to turn your feet out completely flat, you literally cannot do a proper spread eagle.
So Ina Bauer is one foot in front of the other. Spread eagle is side to side, heel to heel.
Perfect. That's your visual cue. The spread eagle is often used to enter jumps because it shows great control.
And then we have the twizzle, which, I'm sorry, it sounds like a candy bar or a dance move from the 1920s. Let's do the twizzle.
It is a funny word, but it is a serious skill.
What is a twizzle?
A twizzle is a traveling spin.
How is that different from a normal spin?
A normal spin, like a scratch spin or a sit spin, happens in one spot. You find your center, you stay there, and you rotate in place. A twizzle requires you to rotate continuously on one foot while moving across the ice.
Oh, that sounds infinitely harder. It's like rubbing your belly and patting your head while on ice.
It is. You have to manage the rotation speed and your travel speed across the rink. If you stop moving forward, it's just a bad spin. If you stop spinning, it's just a glide. You have to do both simultaneously.
And you see this a lot in ice dance, right?
It's the signature move of ice dance. You'll see partners twizzling side by side, perfectly synchronized. If one is slightly slower or drifts away, the whole illusion just falls apart. It's often where medals are won or lost in ice dance.
So when I see them spinning like tops but drifting across the rink, I can shout, "Nice twizzle!"
You absolutely can, and you should.
I feel like my vocabulary is expanding by the minute. We have one last term to cover, and this one is fascinating because it's not just a move, it's a piece of history, it's a rule, and it's a verb, the Zayach.
Yes, the Zayach, named after the American powerhouse Elaine Zayach.
Take us back to the early 80s. Who was she, and why do we still talk about her?
Elaine Zayach was a phenomenon. She won the 1982 World Championships, but she was known for a very specific, very clever strategy. She was incredibly good at triple jumps.
And back in 1982, doing a lot of triples was a huge deal for the women's field.
Huge. So her strategy was to pack her program with as many triple jumps as possible to rack up points. But specifically, she would repeat the easiest triples, like the triple toe loop, over and over again.
So she found a loophole. The rule book didn't say you can't do the same jump 4 times.
Exactly. She was gaming the system. She was playing to her athletic strengths. She did something like 6 triples in her program, but 4 of them were the same type.
That seems smart.
It was smart, but the skating establishment, well, they weren't happy.
Why not? She was landing them.
They felt it was repetitive. They felt it lacked artistry. It was turning figure skating into a jumping drill rather than a balanced performance. They wanted variety. They wanted to see different types of takeoffs, different skills.
So what did they do?
They changed the sport forever. The International Skating Union created the Zayach rule.
And what does the rule say?
It strictly limits the number of times a skater can repeat a triple, or now a quadruple jump. You can only repeat a jump once, and if you do, it must be part of a combination.
So she forced them to legislate variety.
She did. She broke the system so hard they had to fix it. And now her name has become a verb, to Zayach.
How's it used?
If a skater loses count in the heat of the moment, maybe they missed a combo earlier and they're trying to make up for it, and they accidentally do a jump they've already maxed out on, commentators will say, "Oh no, he Zayached."
And what's the penalty?
0 points. The judges act like that extra jump just didn't happen. It's a devastating mistake in the modern era because you waste all that energy for nothing. You get a big fat 0 on the score sheet.
It's amazing that 40 years later, her name is still synonymous with doing too much of a good thing.
It's quite a legacy. She changed the math of the sport.
So we've covered a lot. We've gone from 1908 London to the modern Zayach rule. Let's do a quick lightning round recap just to make sure our listeners are ready for the broadcast.
Let's do it.
Okay. If the scorecard has a little vegetable on it.
That's a carrot. Under-rotated jump. Points deducted. Bad news.
If the skater tries a Lutz taking off from the outside edge, but cheats and rolls to the inside edge.
That's a flitz, a flip-lutz hybrid, technically an error.
If the pair skater is inches from the ice, looking like she's defying gravity while her partner spins her.
That is the death spiral.
And if someone just keeps doing the same jump over and over again until the judges stop counting.
They are Zayaching. And they're probably not going to win.
I love it. I feel so much more prepared. You know, what I hope this does for the listener and for me is shift the perspective.
How so?
Well, when you know these terms, you realize that figure skating isn't just about looking pretty in a sequin costume. It's about physics, it's geometry, it's high-speed edge control.
It really is. When you know what a spread eagle requires of the hips or what a double carrot means for the score, you aren't just watching a show, you're watching a brutal, precise sport. You
Exactly.
appreciate the athleticism so much more. You realize that a clean program is a statistical miracle.
Absolutely. And it brings up an interesting thought to leave on. We talked about the Zayat rule, which was created to stop athleticism, all those jumps, from overshadowing the artistry. But looking at the sport today, we are seeing quadruple jumps everywhere.
We are. The quad revolution is in full swing. Men and women are doing jumps we thought were impossible 20 years ago.
It makes you wonder, are we swinging back to the Zayat era? Are we watching a sport that values tricks over dance again?
That is the eternal tension of figure skating. It is the only sport that tries to be both an art form and a measurable athletic competition. As the jumps get harder, 5 rotations might be coming soon. The quintuple jump we need new rules. Will we be talking about a new rule named after a modern skater in 10 years?
Or maybe a new vegetable for a 5-rotation failure, the radish.
Let's hope not. The carrot is stressful enough for everyone involved.
The carrot is enough. Well, thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into the secret language of the ice. We hope you feel ready to decode the commentary at the next Winter Games.
Enjoy the skating, everyone. Look for those edges.
See you next time.